I'm Bree Goldwater. I am the owner and chief waxer at with Human Landscapers,
AKA Box.
and I am doing a dude brow here on my partner, Jason Goldwater. So with a dude brow, what's really important, why we call it dude brow, is it's for dudes versus we don't want anything too perfect. We don't want chick brows. And so I've always kind of, believed in that and made sure to, communicate that through the men's brows that I work on, that it's really more about keeping them natural. It's not, you would see like when I do, so when I do videos on female brows, I will use soft wax because it's more perfect. With dude brows, I use our box wax because, it's a hard wax because I don't want perfection. I actually want it a little more rough, a little more, a little less perfect, basically.
That's kind of like what our company is.
Yeah, totally.
A little rough.
A little rough.
A little less perfect.
Yep.
Uh-oh, we just jinxed.
Oh boy.
That's interesting because I thought it was kind of like the same process as like with a female brows,
not.
but I can see like just from watching you doing it that it is different.
Yeah, do you see how I'm and I'm really on the outside edges.
Yeah, I can see
I'm not
that.
shooting for perfection. A lot of times, depending on the type of hair, his are pretty easy. Like he doesn't have a whole lot of hair. For his, I actually don't want to do underneath because I definitely don't want to create a line of perfection underneath.
Okay.
Might just be, I'll do the tiniest bit, and this is on a lot of guys, right at the front part right here. These hairs grow a little bit kind of unruly and they start to go down the nose, so I'll usually do that part. But when it comes to all this underneath, I want to leave that because I actually want that to remain its natural, like the lines of the growth to remain like that.
And do you usually do the same with every guy, or do you ask like you do with women too? Like, oh, how do you want your brows done? Or
so to be honest with you, actually, and that's a good question, I never usually ask.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm the expert.
You're like, I'm gonna just do what I
Well, I'm the one who knows better because I can look at their face objectively. I can look at we look at ourselves differently than somebody on the outside looks at us. And I can tell just from 22 years of doing this, our brows are our God-given shape. If somebody wants it changed up, okay, I'm down with that. However, I must educate you on these are the reasons why I don't agree, or why I will kind of try to at least educate you on what I think is better. And the reason why, so I'm a big believer of keeping them thick, keeping them natural. That's what I will always impart on any brand new client. I always tell them, this is my philosophy on brows. Literally most of the time, the people who show up, they've found me somehow and they are so grateful to hear that that's my philosophy on brows and that they're in alignment with that. If they're not and they want them thinner, they want them more arched, they want them more defined, we'll talk about that, but I'll usually educate them on, for a mom or somebody who's maybe really natural, doesn't wear a lot of eye makeup, it doesn't usually match the brow, that you want the brow to match the face, and you want less maintenance. The whole thing should be about little to no maintenance. And so when we keep them thicker and natural, we're not having to, we're not doing a lot of maintenance. So all I did was the overall first pass through on everything. I quickly just kind of went through, got, one of the main things I do on a dude brow is flatten them. So a lot of guys have an arch naturally, and I take out any kind of peak that might be at the top. I don't fully do it with wax. I do it just above the peak. Then I go in and tweeze out that peak. Because once again, we want them like dude brow. We want them very, I kind of refer to them like more straight. They just look a lot more natural that way. And same within the backs. The backs, a lot of guys will have a natural kind of grade where it will get smoother or skinnier. And I actually leave that as thick as we possibly can so that we can, so that it stays more natural,
So Jason, did you start getting your eyebrows waxed because Bree started doing them?
Funny you should ask, Victoria. I have been our year-round training facility now for a little over 20 years because I have the unnatural ability to grow hair pretty much anywhere.
The unnatural ability.
And yeah, and so Bree's been doing every body part on me and everything for 20 years. Yeah, I never paid attention to him before this.
Yeah.
If I wasn't married to Bree, I probably would have nostril hair down to my feet.
No, you have a lot of hair.
I know, right? He does. He
But it's
Everywhere
good,
except for
'cause
the top of my head. It grows. Yeah.
And which is super normal
Yeah.
for, you know.
Yeah.
For men, yeah.
Yep. Yep. And depending on their ethnicity, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big difference.
It kind of worked out perfect for us because it gave Bree a consistent model
Yeah.
to practice on, and a lot of the stuff that she actually kind of perfected in her processes were just like trial and error on me, you know, because I was always able to give firsthand feedback.
So she practiced the sack and crack on you?
Yeah, the sack and crack.
Yeah.
She actually practiced. We were in Surrey, London.
Oh.
And we were making wax, and that was one of the first times I ever got it done. And then once she did it, she slicked me an Ambien, and she did it
Oh
while I
my
was
God.
asleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was great because then I didn't have to hear him complain. He was
But
like
you didn't
literally
feel-
so out of it.
It really?
He
I
knocked
felt
her
good. I woke
out.
up. I went to bed an adult and woke up a kid.
Well, I wax him, but then I also like had always like wanted to trim him because he had so much hair, and I was like, oh, that would look so much better, and he
Yeah.
wasn't really down for it usually. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. Let me just trim his hair. And I put towels all around the sides of him, and then just trimmed all around. And he woke up the next morning, and he was super trimmed, and he was so itchy. And we were out of town, I think.
Yeah,
we were like,
we were driving to Telluride that day.
oh, oh my
and we
gosh,
had to drive
yeah.
in the car for 12 hours.
Yeah, and it just.
Yeah.
Do you see how I'm kind of like, I just am like constantly, you know, moving it around. I never go straight across. I'm kind of going down at it a little bit. Some of them, it's like, I'm just, you know, it just is, they're like unruly. And on a lot of guys, as they get older too, they get unruly and they stick straight out, and I kind of look at them at a different angle and go at them in all these different ways of how it's going to lay better.
Yeah, I totally
Does that
see
make
it. Yeah,
sense?
I can see it too.
Yeah.
Like it still looks
like-
natural, but
Yeah, and you can't go like
Mm-hmm.
you know, all the way across. Like it just would.
You would think this stuff was like super cut and dry, you know, like you just go and wax there, but Bree kind of took it to a new level all these years with just being so meticulous. And then in turn, everybody that she teaches is equally, if not more so meticulous. So it's kind of
Yeah.
cool. But for such a simple idea, it's amazing how much goes into it. Certainly with us.